thought this was supposed to be the most advanced security system on the planet.
Hollywood is in absolute panic right now. Mel Gibson just dropped a terrifying final warning, and what he revealed could shatter the illusion of the entertainment world forever. This isn't just another celebrity soundbite, this is a full-blown unraveling of Hollywood's darkest secrets. And it's coming straight from someone who lived through it, escaped it, and is now telling the world what's really going on behind the velvet curtains. What Mel just said about the Epstein files, the secret elite circles, and the hidden rituals in the industry is not only disturbing, it connects dots people have been afraid to even acknowledge. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, because this is the video they don't want spreading. Now let's dive in, because this goes deeper than anyone expected. Over the past few weeks, the internet has been an avalanche of bombshell revelations. It started with that Diddy documentary peeling back the layers of his empire, exposing his inner circle in ways that still have the industry reeling. Then, the long-awaited Epstein files dropped, and they were supposed to be heavily redacted. All black lines, all the incriminating parts hidden, protected by the system. But something went wrong. Internet sleuths discovered that by simply copying and pasting those redacted files, the hidden names and quotes were still accessible. The censorship failed, badly. And the secrets the elites fought so hard to bury started flooding across every platform faster than they could scrub them.
This is a bizarre place, and it doesn't take very long, and I'm sure you've experienced this if you've stayed here for any length of time. You come in, you're fresh from the outside, you're off the boat, from the farm, still got shit on your shoes, you're in here, people are charmed by that you've still got shit on your shoes. They're charmed by the fresh approach you bring to it, and that's a real thing. But they're also stroking the shit out of you, licking you all over. And that's kind of good for you too.
It's great.
But it doesn't take very long before you realize, or before it gets to you. It's cascading on you all the time. You can't get away from certain attitudes, from certain modes of behavior that this town and the industry dictate. And no matter how strong you are, when you come in off the farm with those convictions and a certain line of attack, no matter how strong you are going to be affected by this place. It's going to divert you from where you were going.
Sure.
You're going to be diverted. When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on, because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be. Because a whole place can't be like, weird town, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill. And it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think, now this is what I mean by actually starting to swim up or downstream with the rest of the salmon, eventually, if you stay here long enough.
Yeah.
You'll find yourself doing that. And you have to, there's a way of doing it without doing it. That takes time. And it takes relaxation.
Not being uncomfortable about...
Not being uncomfortable. Realizing it for what it is.
Projecting.
Understanding what it is. Once you understand it, well, then you're not afraid of it anymore, so you can just walk around it, through it, and then get on with what you tried to get on with in the first place. A place like this can humiliate you. And it can be, it can humiliate you, it can be humbling. I mean, it does rip your life to pieces.
Does it?
If you'll let it.
Yeah.
And it's always pounding at the walls. It's like these little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to like beat your walls in.
Yeah.
But that's your own devils,
Yeah. I mean, as a matter of interest, do you think it's easier because you're an outsider who came in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it was glaring to me because I was an outsider who came in. But who isn't an outsider?
And I mean, this footage is old, but it hits different now.
Pages of victim testimony, photos, schedules, and names, powerful names ripped straight out of our pop culture royalty. It was like watching the dam break in real time. The supposed most secure legal release in modern history turned into the biggest unintentional truth leak we've seen since WikiLeaks. But here's where it gets darker, because just as the Epstein documents were leaking, Mel Gibson resurfaced. And what he said isn't just commentary, it's a warning. A terrifying warning about what's really happening behind closed doors in Hollywood. He doesn't just hint at it, he spells it out. Rituals, abuse, corruption so deep it alters people. And it's not just his voice anymore. Other truth-tellers like Cat Williams, Cory Feldman, even Denzel Washington have been pointing to the same sinister pattern. Let's go back. Mel Gibson has been at war with Hollywood for decades. He started as a rising golden boy, young, talented, magnetic, but even early on, he felt something was deeply wrong. He once described Hollywood like this: imagine walking into a town where everyone stares at you the moment you enter the bar, and someone whispers, "Don't go near that house on the hill." At first you think, I'm just paranoid, right? That's insane. But later you realize no, you were right. Your gut was right. Your worst nightmares? They were real. Mel once described the early days of his career as charming. At first they love you when you come in with dirt still on your shoes. You're fresh. You're real. You still believe in the world. But that innocence doesn't last. He said the industry starts licking you all over, making you feel special. It sounds seductive, but it's bait.
I had a gut full of the whole industry. I mean, it's a very strange place, Hollywood. But it's an odd place. And you imagine all these horror stories there that you think, boy, it seems as if I'm being sacrificed over here. No, that couldn't be true. And then you realize that it is true. And you have to, I just left for a while and took a couple of years off, bought a place down in Australia and started digging holes and putting up fences and birthing cattle and all this kind of stuff. And it was fun, you know, it was fun. It was great, and it was a good breather.
Yeah, and then of course the comeback, what a comeback, Lethal Weapon. It wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah, it was all right.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Our future is our children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
It's the grooming stage, because what follows is a relentless storm of pressure, subtle manipulations, unspoken rules, ritualistic expectations, psychological traps, and eventually, it starts to change you. You're no longer who you were when you walked in, and by the time you realize it, you're already in too deep. You've seen too much. Mel talked about feeling like Hollywood was a machine designed to humiliate you, to break you down, and to reassemble you into something controllable. He compared it to little devils, his words beating down the walls of your mind, and if you're not strong enough to resist, they get in. Now, fast forward to today, and Mel isn't just talking metaphorically anymore. He's pointing directly to human trafficking, child exploitation, and ritualized abuse. And he's not the only one. When Mel publicly endorsed the film Sound of Freedom, he said something that shook people. One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, particularly the trafficking of children. Our future is our children. The first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. And while the message was powerful, what happened next was chilling. Streaming giants Netflix, Hulu, Amazon all refused to carry the film. Not only that, Sound of Freedom was originally a Disney project. Disney owned it, and they buried it. Scrapped the entire film before it ever saw daylight. A movie about rescuing children from trafficking. Killed. Why? What kind of industry silences that kind of story? The same industry, perhaps, that looked the other way when the Epstein files began to trickle out. And make no mistake, those files are explosive. The newly unredacted documents expose Bill Clinton's disturbing connections with Epstein. This isn't rumor anymore.
Propaganda in Hollywood movies is built into the ingredients list. It's like if you want flour, you need you're gonna have to get the heat. And if you want to be able to make movies about certain subjects, you have to be willing to work with some people. And you know, it'd be nice if you made it so that this is what we're trying to accomplish, and this is showing the negative side of this other society, and this is this is our hero. Is our hero who's going to go do America's bidding and go over there, and you're like, okay. And those movies are successful, and so they continue this relationship, and you become a bit of a propaganda arm for the government, and in turn they don't with you.
Right, but that's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's
That
not.
is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
This is official record. Photos of Clinton and Epstein in pools, in hot tubs with Ghislaine Maxwell just hanging around casually like it's normal. Clinton flew on the Lolita Express way more than previously reported dozens of times. Victims recall Epstein saying, "Clinton likes them young." That's a quote from the court documents. But it's not just political royalty. The files also include names like Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Diana Ross, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Richard Branson. Some of them aren't accused of crimes, but the sheer proximity is disturbing. Epstein wasn't just flying around with billionaires and world leaders. He was deeply embedded in entertainment, music, film, fashion, art, the entire cultural machine. But here's what's even scarier. Some files were mysteriously removed from the DOJ portal shortly after being uploaded. Others were so blacked out, entire pages were unreadable. Why would you redact a flight log? Why would you erase a timeline? Why remove names? Unless those names matter. This is the moment Mel Gibson's warning snaps into focus. Because the real issue here isn't just who's connected to Epstein. It's why the system works so hard to keep those names hidden. And that's where we enter the darkest part of this story, rituals. Cat Williams said something brilliant in a recent podcast. He said people misunderstand the idea of Hollywood rituals. It's not just about humiliation. It's about transformation, control. He gave the example of male actors in dresses. People laugh it off, but he said, "Show me one person who wore a dress in Hollywood and didn't become successful afterward. It's not a coincidence. It's not a joke. It's a submission ritual. Do it, and you get rewarded. Refuse, and you get blacklisted, or worse."
I'll tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah, not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah, I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded, literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Cory Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys.
Well, what happens if my mom is dating the head vampire?
Feldman says the trauma of that contributed to Haim's death.
There's one person to blame in the death of Cory Haim, and that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. There was a circle of older men in the entertainment industry.
Feldman won't name names.
Joe Rogan echoed the same idea, calling Hollywood a propaganda arm. He said if you want to make movies, you have to play ball. You tell the story they want told, and in return, they let you rise. You want funding, access, distribution? You better toe the line. You better avoid the wrong topics. And child exploitation? That's the third rail, untouchable. And now we know why. Because the Epstein network wasn't just political, it was theatrical. It had reach into every layer of influence. These weren't just rich men indulging in private corruption. These were orchestrated rings with handlers, recruitment pipelines, and protective alliances across industries. Now, here's the wildest part, Epstein and Diddy. Think about this. Everyone went to Epstein's island except Diddy, and everyone went to Diddy's parties except Epstein. They operated in completely different worlds, yet the alleged behavior coming from both camps shares disturbing similarities: control, manipulation, exploitation. Why were these two powerful men never seen together? Was it by design? Were they running parallel operations in separate cultural sectors? One political, one musical? And if so, who's above both of them? Who's coordinating the silence? That's the question Mel Gibson, Cat Williams, and Cory Feldman have all been circling for years. Let's talk about Cory Feldman for a second, because his story connects all the dots. He's been exposing Hollywood's abuse culture since the early 2000s, and no one listened. He said the #1 problem in Hollywood is, and always has been, pedophilia. He said he was surrounded by predators at 14. He didn't even realize it. He just thought it was normal, because no one told him otherwise. Because in Hollywood, silence is tradition. His best friend, Cory Haim, didn't survive the abuse. Feldman claims it destroyed him. He said, "There's one person responsible for Cory's death, and that person is a powerful Hollywood mogul. I know who it is, and that person is watching." And that statement should haunt you, because it means the predators are still out there, still protected, still watching. Feldman named one name publicly, Marty Weiss, a Nickelodeon-connected manager who was later convicted. But there are others, bigger names, untouchable names. And the deeper you dig, the more connections you find to the Epstein files. The more the puzzle starts to form a recognizable image. One of grooming, one of ritual, one of psychological warfare. And if you think this all sounds crazy, consider this. Why are the whistleblowers always the ones destroyed? Mel Gibson blacklisted, mocked, defamed. Cat Williams called crazy, blackballed, arrested. Cory Feldman laughed at, threatened, ignored. But the people they accuse? Protected, elevated, awarded. That's how you know where the truth lies. Look at who gets punished, look at who gets silenced, look at who gets killed, and then look at who keeps winning. We've reached the tipping point now. In 2024, Cat Williams said this would be the year the truth comes out. And what have we seen? Diddy's empire collapsing, the Epstein files finally being cracked open, streaming platforms exposed for burying truth-telling content, and now Mel Gibson's final warning echoing across a culture that can't look away anymore. This isn't a conspiracy anymore, it's a pattern. A decades-long pattern of abuse, concealment, and ritualized power games hidden behind red carpets and million-dollar smiles. The cracks are spreading, the old Hollywood is crumbling. The question now is, what will rise in its place? Will the truth finally win? Or will the system find new ways to protect itself, to punish its enemies, and to rewrite history before we even realize what's missing? Mel Gibson said the walls are always pounding, little devils trying to break through. But now, the gates are open, and the flood is coming.